Eli, when you reviewed last week's game, what were the 2 or 3 things that really stood out to you?
There were a lot of opportunities for us to make plays that changed the outcome of the game that we didn't make. For the overall, I mean, there were several blocks that if we sustain a little bit longer, we score. We don't throw the ball to the other team, if we pick up the right person in protection. So one play away here or there, and things that have got to be corrected and will be corrected this week. That's what our focus is.
Obviously, that stretch at the end of the first half where you guys getting the ball at the 40 or whatever, and I mean, I assume those are you kind of have the similar plays you're digging from at that point because it's the same part of the field. Was it one thing that was going wrong, or just a whole bunch of different?
Yeah, we just got behind the chains both times. Started with a run one time and got nothing, and then started with a shot one time and got nothing, and so I got to do a better job calling plays.
There were a couple of protection issues that seemed at times, and I guess how did Ryan handle those at times as well? Because there were a couple of times where things off the left side, the guy just came untouched.
Protections is an 11-man job, and that's what we say around here. And it's everybody. It's wide receivers, it's tailbacks, O-line, quarterbacks, and so and it's coaching staff. And so we've got to do a better job protecting our quarterback and making sure that we're all dialed in on exactly what we're going to do and how we're going to get it done. And 4 sacks is too many.
How do you think? I think Ryan played in the game, and obviously much more aggressive, pushing the ball downfield and whatnot.
Yeah, we definitely had the attack mindset early, and even through the whole game. I thought Ryan had some really good moments. I thought he handled the game for the most part pretty well. That third quarter, he was really feeling it and doing a pretty nice job. Obviously, you can't have turnovers, and those are learning things that he's going to learn from, that I'm going to learn from, and not put him in those situations. And so, but we're moving on. We're taking this as a learning experience. Obviously we're disappointed because we're no longer undefeated. But there's a lot of things for the future. There's 10 games left and 10 opportunities for us to play. And right now we got one coming Friday against a very quality opponent. So, there's all kinds of things that we learned from that last game. But we're moving on. We're game planning. We're talking to our guys right now. Our focus is on Friday. It's not on BYU.
I know you guys dealt with it last year a little bit with Grant as well. And, interceptions and happens a lot with young quarterbacks. How do you talk to them about sort of that balance between you want them to attack, you want them to play, don't want to play scared, but you got to eliminate those.
You got to make great decisions. Great decisions. 3 of those throws were not great decisions. I mean, that's just at the end of the day, they weren't great decisions, and I can help him and coach better, and that's my job. And so it's not all on Ryan; it's on Eliah Drinkwitz too. So we're going to get it corrected. We're 2 weeks into the process with Ryan Finley as a starting quarterback. And I thought he showed tremendous growth from week 1 as far as managing the game. But he had 3 decisions that cost us, and that's the thing about the quarterback position. And so we're going to get better. We're going to get better. It's not him. It's not me. It's we. And that's how this is going to go.
I know third down conversions depends, where you're at, chains, that type of thing. But is there any common 2 for 12? I think it was in the last game. Was there any common thing you saw there?
Yeah, we were behind the chains. We didn't have a single 6 to 9. We divide up our third downs into yardage. We didn't have a single 6 to 9. We had 8, 10 plus. That's unbelievably too many. We actually had 2 more conversions than that through penalties, which if those guys hadn't had a penalty or whatever, we would have converted those. And those were 2 to 5. And then we had the 1 short yardage again that was really not up to standard.
I know you mentioned you had a couple plays here and there that could have changed the game. Second game in a row, fourth quarter, just really struggling to get anything going offensively.
Yep.
2 of those third down conversions were in the fourth quarter, when I think you guys, if you put a long drive together there, and
yeah, absolutely. If we finished the game, 5 minutes, we got the ball with 5 minutes and 10 seconds left to go in the game, and if we finished the ball with the ball in our hands, we win. And we didn't do that. Drive before that, we were backed up, and then we started again on the 10, and we went backwards. We had a penalty, a motion penalty. And so, again, those are things that focused on this week, and have got to improve, and are going to show up again this season. And so again, we're focused on moving forward and focused on Idaho State. And we're going to let the past be a great teacher, but we're not going to dwell on it. We're going to move on, and I understand exactly the questions you're asking, but at the same time, we're trying to take the experience that we had and move forward. Failure is never final, and it's never fatal. And so that's our motto right now with our guys. We failed. We didn't win the game, but it's not final. It's not fatal unless you sit there and dwell on it, and that's not what we're going to do.
What are some early takeaways that you've seen out of Idaho State right now?
Yeah, very good defense, solid team. Playoff team last year, returned a lot of guys who played for them. Great hustle to the football, sound defense, very gap sound. It's going to be a challenge. Odd front, just like the previous 2 games we've seen, which is good and bad for us. It's good because it's another opportunity to see if we can do it. Bad because we haven't handled it the way we need to handle it. So it's going to be a tremendous challenge. They're a good football team, and so we're going to have to play.
With your experience with high school, both levels of the college game, I mean, there's one guy that doesn't take FCS teams, I guess, lightly. Is it you?
I don't know if anybody takes them lightly, but I sure don't. I mean, all you got to do is look around college football. And I've been at Arkansas State when I was the underdog too. Nobody wants to win those games worse. Everybody wants to win. You play to win the game, right? And so everybody wants to win. They're going to want to win, and the talent gap is not that big. I mean, it's not that big. So nobody's rolling a football out there and winning that game. You're going to have to bring your A game, and quite honestly, we're not where we need to be anyway. So if we don't play well, it's going to be ugly. And so
you've got so many ways to get Shane Williams throws the ball, pretty creative. How important is he in this offense? What is he?
He's huge. He's huge, and that was something we took away from week 1. He's a proven playmaker in this conference, and so it was important for us to get him the ball, and he did a great job and should have got it to him more. And that's that's something we've figured out. You got to find out who your playmakers are, and he's one of them. He's got to touch the ball.
You guys kind of said you want the offense to be a downhill running team, establish the run. I think 64 yards rushing in that game. Was there a common theme or thread there as to why you guys couldn't run the ball? Or?
Yep. Yeah, we didn't sustain blocks. And that's regardless whether we won or lost, we were going to have the same conversation on that. And so it's got to be corrected. We got to have better effort in practice and to get it fixed, and that's concentration. So we're going to work on it. But yeah, that's disappointing.
Back to Shane for a second. He'd gone, I think going back to last year, the last 3 games before this game, he'd only had 2 catches. How did he kind of disappear a little bit from that role of kind of wanting to get him the ball or trying to get him the ball?
I can't speak to last year because it's so long ago I don't remember. But week 1 there were some things that we were trying to get it to him, and the defense took it away from us. But it was just a focus. This is what we got to do. So I don't know if that answered your question.
Hurst talking about one of your old guys, Lucero, and brought him over from scout team in the middle of the week last week. I guess how does that work? I mean, you just kind of give him a couple of plays.
Yeah, Coach Harson saw him make a play in scout team, and we had struggled with this play, and so he knew that David's a tall, long, athletic guy, and gave him a shot. And one of our deals is if you do it in practice, we'll let you do it in the game. And he did it in practice and showed up big. It was a good play.
Did you give him just a couple of plays, or did you give him a few plays he had to know, or how did you kind of get him ready for that?
Yeah, it was just a few plays. There's a lot of young guys that have been rotating in with just a small package, just to try not to overwhelm, especially on the road. But yeah.
The backup quarterback position, I know it's still kind of a competition there, but Coach Harson was talking about how he'd love to get some of those guys some experience at some point if you can. How do you kind of look at that battle and moving forward, just the urgency, I guess, and maybe try to get one of those guys some experience at some point?
Yeah, you take game to game. If the opportunity presents itself in a game, then we'll let somebody play. But right now, Ryan gives us the best chance to win, and Ryan needs all the experience he can get to continue to do that. We've got, again, playing on the road is a tough thing, and that's a tremendous road environment. I've been fortunate enough to be in a lot of really cool stadiums. That's a good one. And so we didn't handle it as well as we needed to. But we've got some tough road games coming up, out of conference and in conference, that we've got to handle, and that's going to be a great learning experience for us.
I think Nichols has scored all your touchdowns. How important is he to this offense? And what he's doing?
He has?
All 5.
Good for him. Yeah. He's very important. Now, obviously, great playmaker. Yeah, good. Yeah, I hadn't even thought about it that way. You know, I knew we had rushed for a bunch, and then I guess that screen pass would make it all him. Yeah, he's really good, dynamic with the ball in his hands, and he's important. He gets us going, and he ran really hard on the goal line runs. So yeah, he's good.
He put a lot more even than he did in the season opener. Obviously, Kelsey Young's playing time wasn't as much as the season opener. Growing confidence in Jeremy. I mean, it seemed like he did a pretty good job in pass protection and some little things too.
Yeah, we're growing a lot of confidence in Jeremy, and just the way the game was going, he was hot, so we wanted to keep him in there. And a lot of our offense, you never exactly know where the ball's going to. Specifically in the pass game, and so he does a good job coming out of the backfield. Last year, he played wide receiver some too for us, so getting to see all those movements, you want him in the game.
He was saying, that a lot of people forget he played wide receiver for 3 years in high school. So I mean, he's only been playing this position full time for not very long. How impressive was that first touchdown run he had, where obviously he hit it and he just kind of continued to just kind of bounce it until he was able to.
Yeah, it was tough. He kept his feet moving and found his way into the end zone. Honestly, the offensive line had tremendous surge, especially on the backside, which was able to allow him to kind of keep moving to the left and find his way in the end zone. And so, yep.
For you, Coach usually puts the film on your iPad on the flight home right away, or do you
I watched it on the bus, waiting on them. Okay. Yeah, as soon as the game was over, I went down
you
the
guys
bus.
had a couple extra hours you were stuck there. I mean,
We had about 4.
Did you watch extra film that night then, or did you do that? I mean, how'd you kind of handle this time?
Yeah, I watched it and didn't handle it very well, to be honest with you. But like I said, it is what it is. We're moving on, and I'm not going to dwell on it. Sick to my stomach. Felt bad for our football team, our coaches and our players and our fans, because we had one that was close and didn't get it done. I put a lot of it on myself. Feel like I can do better, and I'm going to do better. And our players feel the same way. Our coaching staff feels the same way. But like I said, it's not final. That wasn't the last game of the season. It was the second. So now what happens is what's important.
2 more guys.
When you look at Idaho State's defense, a player or two that jump out at you, anybody that's caught your attention?
Yeah, I wish I had the roster right in front of me. They got a defensive end that played quite a bit. I think he's from Payette, 95, I believe. Really good player, plays for us on our right side, defensive end. And he's really good. Big, strong kid. They got a linebacker that played last year and a safety that played last year. And I've got the names upstairs. I just been watching them. And those 3 guys are really good players now. And so we're going to have our hands full.
All right, thanks, guys. Thanks, Eli.
Thank you.